Hello and welcome to My Mom's Basement, presented by Barstool Sports, and a very special Stranger Things Volume 5 or Season 5 Volume 2 edition. Again, we're getting into the weird numbers. That's a tradition on this podcast, me messing up the weird numbers that shows may have. Chapters. We have chapters for this one.
Chapters, that's right.
So we're going to do Season 5, Volume 2, chapters 5, 6, and 7. I think I'm right about that.
Your money, Bob. I see all the little things about different episodes and which has the high ratings or where Stranger Things, where they seasons sit. And I'm like, I have to take a step back again. This brain is getting a lot slower in its old age. And I liked it. I wish we could just call it Stranger Things 5, Stranger Things 4, but you still need to call it Season 5, you know?
And then when they break it up into the volumes and then it's broken further into the chapters, thank God it's not like in the chapters. They're like part 1. Or they're doing like the different perspectives things where they go to different characters or whatever. They've made it at least they explain the plot every 20 seconds so you can follow like that. We'll get into everything. Hopefully everyone had a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year coming up. We're going to get into the entirety of Stranger Things 5 Volume 2 because we were just talking before we went live. It's crazy how much discourse is already happening about this. You cannot open up social media without people getting their takes off about Stranger Things 5 Volume 2. Usually a bad thing.
Yeah, not good when it's like the monkey's paw, where it's like, I want to be the most talked about show of 2025 or the holiday season of 2025. And you're getting that.
Nailed it.
And
they did it.
Nailed it. And then you have, so as two handsome young fellows who have kind of made this part of their career, reviewing, recapping shows and movies that have big fan bases and have hits and misses. I feel like I'm back. I'm back in the upside down, Bob. We were here with Game of Thrones once upon a time. We've been here with various Marvel shows and movies. Here with various Marvel or Star Wars shows and movies. And finally, I'm like, you know what? Stranger Things, pretty much every recap has just been a smooth ride. We figure it out, and everyone kind of ends up on the same page. And then Volume 2 happens, and I think I was trying to figure out, how do we do this? Because I know there's the 3 sects of people, SECTS. It's like the people who hated Volume 2, the people who are who loved Volume 2 and think the haters are just hating, and then the haters think those people are just blindly loving. And then there's the vast majority in the middle who like some things, didn't like some things, and have fair critiques, and then they get nitpicked by the people on we are in the political world has just...
It's the office. When we got the handguns up, and everyone's pointing at everyone right now.
The extreme lefts and rights are biting the middles, and the middles are telling everyone to shut the fuck up. It's just craziness. I hate it. I hate the internet. I just don't like it.
It's bad. I wish we were in the 80s with these kids now, because
they have it so good. They may have a demon living in their town that's murdering innocent children, but at least they don't have the goddamn
and I
internet.
prefer that.
Yes. So I saw this. By the grace of God, we got home at Christmas night at 7:30 p.m. Got the kids basically wrapped up, and 8 o'clock to 11, 12, whatever. We somehow powered through them all. Bob, 2 days later, you got your session in.
Christmas night, we got home and we had people visiting, so we had to do a ton of chores Christmas night. Couldn't watch any of it. Wound up doing a 3-episode marathon last night, which I was up till 1 or 2 in the morning, delirious by the end of it.
Yep.
But if you can't tell from our tone already, I think it's fair to say we're coming at this with a different energy than the energy that we came at our Season 5 Volume 1 recap. We were like, the Duffers just dropped their nuts on the table again, proved why they did it. This one, again, Clem said there are the 3 sects of people where you either hate it, you love it, or you're in the middle with some critiques and some things that you're looking forward to. I think we're both probably in the middle to a degree. Maybe we're on different areas of the middle. Maybe I'm a little more positive middle. Maybe you're a little more negative middle. I don't even know if that's the case, but I feel like it usually is with us.
Yep.
It was tough because, like you said, there were a lot of things that were good. There was things. It's hard to get into this without getting into spoilers, but I think I could say broad strokes wise, I liked the time that we spent with the characters from the show that we've spent the last 4 seasons with. We didn't spend a lot of time with those characters, though. That was number one on the docket. I know we'll get to the controversial scene that everyone's talking about. We'll get to that. Docket issue number one for me is like, where did the Stranger Things kids go?
And it's like, and we're not making the same tired ass joke that all the haters made. Like, oh, they're adults now. Okay, we're not making that. I want Dusty Bun. I want Michael. Yeah. I want Will. I want Lucas. I want Max. I want Elle. I want all of them. Where did they go? And we got the one. They're like, no, we have Holly. I forgot Holly was a character until we did the rewatch, and I'm like, oh, that's right, Mike.
Agreed that we said that in our rewatch before season 5 premiered. We were like, oh, we both forgot Mike has a younger sister. She's never mattered, and they decided in the home stretch she's the only one that matters. What's going on here?
I'll be honest. There were times. This is the God's honest truth. There were times in volume 2 I forgot that Mike was a character. I remembered Holly. I remembered Nancy, but I forget Mike, who was a very important part of this show. And like, obviously at the end, like emotionally with the two main characters that this fucking Vecna guy is haunting with Elle and Will. Mike is kind of the love interest of both of them, as it turns out. And I forget he even exists, and he just kind of, he does exist just on his own little plane. You asked me, because I had watched it first, you said one word review.
Yeah.
And I said, oh man, that's a tough one. And I said to my wife, and she kind of had a couple, and she just threw them around. I'm like, eh. And I just wrote, all right. And I was like, you go, that's not good. I go, I didn't say bad, but all right. And this was pretty fresh off of it. And I'm like, there's just not a lot that I like really can sink my teeth into or hang my hat on. But I was like, I was there. It was the 3+ hours worth of content, but I'm just not sure what we got there. And thankfully, like, then I start seeing the opinions flood in. And I'm like, okay, I think we all had a pretty similar experience. I was texting our boy Eddie, getting his takes, our boy KFC. And listen, I think Eddie trends more positive, KFC more negative. And they were both kind of like in the same boat. And then our beloved boy, White Boy Rick. We lost White Boy Rick to the upside down. I saw him tweeting, and I was like, oh no, he was in a darker place than me. But I do think people who love this show, and from season 1 on, but then not only that, we're on the table, pounding the table, saying season 4 fucking ended awesome, and all you guys hating are idiots, and then 5 started good. This is the thing. We all are agreed. I think you could say 5, good, great, volume 1. You can say whatever you want. I think those pretty good. I don't remember what I said, but I think on the ball scale, we're at like 2.75 and up. Everyone was pretty much locked in. Mm-hmm. It's just the way that all unfolded in volume 2. We are in no man's land. And they're like, oh, everything we thought we knew about the upside down, we don't know. I understand what they said, and I think I have an idea of the Dimension X and the bridge and all that. Yeah. But it's like, there was a cum room. We're just like, where did that go? Why did it solidify?
A lot to take in on Christmas, on the day after Christmas. And I think no man's land is a good way to put it. Because right now we're in a zone where I talked to White Boy Rick about this, and I said, if the finale delivers an absolute banger, this is pretty much forgiven, I think, because volume 1 was so good. Every show is allowed to have all right episodes. Every show does have all right episodes. The issue is they're coming in the home stretch. You shouldn't have the all right episodes right now. We're also in no man's land because if the finale bombs, and if it's a Game of Thrones level thing that the majority of people are pretty down on, we will look back at this as the warning signs. It feels very similar to Game of Thrones in that way. And I think, if you remember correctly, I was pretty positive on the last season of Game of Thrones. And I think I was enjoying it as it was happening. And then as soon as it was all over and I could kind of analyze the whole season as a whole, you go, ooh, they should have done that differently. They should have done that differently. They should have done that differently. It's kind of how I felt about volume 2. Like, as I was watching it, I wasn't like, oh, this sucks. There were certainly scenes where I was like, oh my God, this is going on so long. Bring us back to the cast. But every episode would end and I would go, all right, that was like pretty good, especially after seeing all the negative discourse on Twitter. I go, oh, I didn't hate that by any means. But then when you look back at them as a whole and you say this was almost like the penultimate block of Stranger Things. when you look back at it like that, you go, oh yeah, they didn't really do much. Not much happened. I was much more fired up at the end of volume 1 than I was at the end of volume 2. And again, it's just like we can start getting into the spoilers now. It's just all Holly. It was Holly, Camazotz. I also hate A Wrinkle in Time. I think I mentioned it. It's probably my least favorite book I ever read in school. I got detention during a sink or swim quiz because I tried to help my friend Cedric on an answer to it. I just have bad memories associated with it. I almost think of it as if like you hated The Shining and then went to see Ready Player One, and the entire middle act of that movie is like, let's recreate The Shining. And you're like, but I hate this movie. Like, that's how I feel about all of the Wrinkle in Time Camazotz stuff. I hate it. I just don't like it. I don't like the way it looks. I don't like it. It was fine for, a couple episodes. I thought we were going to get out of there. I hate it, Clem. I hate every time we go there.
I think the way season 4 ended and the way season 5 began, we said, oh, wait, we're not getting that. Like, it's a war. It's in the upside down has come to the right side up and we're fighting. And they've figured out a way to make it all make sense and to make it entertaining. But then we just keep digging deeper. I'm like, yo, we have to get out of this place by in 2.5. And I'm with you. This is the thing. And I think a lot of the criticisms that are out now, we all can agree. There is a chance they fucking crush the finale. It could still happen. There's also a chance it's going to just be muddled down, Game of Thrones, whatever you want to say. And we're going to be like, oh, and we diagnosed it in that episode. Now, this is the other thing that's odd too. Stranger Things, we're so used to it in terms of the one big plop release, you binge it, whatever. The fact that they're doing these little tidbits, maybe if you had watched, in a different pacing of it all, and you watch 6 and 7, and you're like, all right, but we still have, because technically it'd be like 8, 9, and 10. Oh God, they have mind tricked everyone I know. Just says 6, 7 just on its own, and it's like, how were we always saying 6 and 7?
I had to do when you said it. I knew
crazy,
people would you got to do the whole.
Fair enough, but like. If there was 2.5 hours left of Stranger Things and they chopped that into 3 episodes, maybe we'd be feeling fine and we would have just been like, that one episode or those 2 episodes were kind of whatever. But the fact that you had to wait, you have the last season, and now it's one episode. Granted, it's a fucking movie of an episode, but it's like it does feel like with Game of Thrones, like it feels like there could be a pacing problem here, and it's going to be because we just spent a whole lot of time with Holly. I'm just going to say it. Michael Jordan, fuck them kids. I do not care about one of those kids. I am done with even Derek at this point. I'm done with everything.
Yeah. I'm done with Derek too. I thought Derek was great, volume 1. By the time he got to Camazotz, it was like, oh, I'm done with him. Like that, he's overstayed his welcome already. It's weird.
I thought I was going to watch kids murder another kid. I was like, where are we going right now with this? And like, I didn't even like that side of things. I just don't want those kids in my life. The kids I want in my life are the kids that we've had the last decade and seen grow up in front of our eyes.
The stuff we got with them, again, I think we got some good stuff with them.
So that's the thing. Like the Max stuff, pretty interesting. And like, I was happy. I like Max. I'm happy she's back. Right. I thought it was hilarious that she basically took Holly up and then just was like, oh, I got to go. That's not your door. This is my door. And I tweeted it out. She gave her the Bane. One of us, they expect one of us in the wreckage, brother. Like, sorry, girl. Like, you're fucked right now.
That was insane. My jaw was on the floor for that. And it was also like a 5-minute long back and forth dialogue scene where I was looking at my fucking watch going, someone tweeted me. They were like, they gave Dustin and Steve 38 seconds. For their whole thing, they got 38 seconds. And these two got 5 minutes of screen time in a bad scene that nobody cared about. And again, not really like acting wise. It was more like they were asking too much of the actress that played Holly in volume 2.
Yeah.
They actually carry the show. Nobody cares about it. I think it should have been, like you said, pacing issue. I think it was almost a pacing issue in the script, in that this stuff should have come in volume 1, and we should have ended volume 2 with Vecna's bigger rival. Will has powers. Holy shit, we're going into battle. Like, it's so weird that they chose to do the really hype one a month before, 2 months before the finale, whatever it was. And then this one was just, and I don't think there's too much ground for them to cover in the finale. The finale's without a doubt an uphill battle now. But I think there's it's not like, oh, there's so many threads, they can't wrap everything up. Again, like you said, with 2.5 hours or 2 hours, 20 minutes, whatever it is, I do have faith that they could wrap that up. It's fucking the length of like a Dune movie. They could figure out how to wrap things up. But maybe you have to like tone down the amount of exposition of someone just explaining the plan or the plot to another person. That got a little tiring in volume 2 as well, where I almost felt myself like, is this the dark side I'm feeling? Where like I've been like, oh, those people, they're wrong with that criticism. And then volume 2, I was like, I think they're right at this point. It was just scene after scene of here's what we got to do. And then you cut to Hopper and he's like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and it's like here is pop culture reference that ties this thread together that we're gonna make. If they cut out the exposition and then they cut out the pop culture references and like the branding that's like they say Lucky Charms, every episode. If they can cut that all out, 2.5 hours, we have a filet mignon. There's no fat on that steak. It could just be nothing but good lean meat. However, I don't just think that's going to happen because I can't just blindly trust these guys anymore. You know what I mean?
Let me go through, and you as well, the notes that you took during the episodes, because I feel like that will be a good avenue to also get into some of the good. It's not all negative. There's a lot of negative on Front Street, but I did take some notes on some stuff that I liked, and I thought there's some fucking metal stuff in the final.
And let me just say this. This is my last big picture thought that I have before I get into my notes. The Duffer Brothers, and listen, Duffer Brothers say. There's a chance the Duffer Brothers say, or how do they lead that? Every tweet has the Duffer Brothers said. If they say like Netflix had to give us notes and said we are a second screen company, everyone's on their phones. Listen, I was on my phone for some of the time. We feel like we have to keep explaining this, which is a thing that streaming companies do.
Yes.
I'm probably, like not all of them. I don't think HBO worries about that shit with their good stuff, but other things. And they're probably, we need you guys to start basically change the show. That would suck. And that would explain a lot. I think maybe Game of Thrones had some of those issues as well. But the Duffer Brothers saying it's going to be a dark Christmas. So it's like, it was dark because I put my fist through my TV and now my TV is dark.
Yeah, dude, nobody died, right? Nobody, literally nobody.
When the credits ran at the end of episode 7, was that right?
Yeah.
The last episode?
Yes.
I said to my wife, is that all? And we did like the skip for the after credits, like looking thing, and there was going to be something else. So it did feel like, and listen, they're going to the Upside Down. We're in battle mode. Everything's about to pop off. If we just start popping off and we're not doing another buildup, I do think the finale can be awesome. But I'm also not like betting my life on it at this point.
No.
So,
we're going into trepidation for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Chapter 5, we open with Shock Jock, the episode that everyone thought, because of the title, Robin will be passing away in this one. Not quite there. Opens with Henry taking all the kids and like laying out the plan. So weapons. This is just like, again, I think the Duffers were probably seeing weapons going, fuck. I thought the first warning sign that this volume was not going to be right up my alley was how much Will knew about his powers and how they work right away. When he was like, well, I have to be close to the hive mind, and then I have to do this, and then I have to do that. And Winona's like, do you think this would work? He's like, absolutely not. That wouldn't work. It's like, why do you know any of this? You just tapped into this for the first time in your life. It'd be like if Luke, like the first time he fucking pulls the lightsaber out of the Force, started telling people about how the Force works. You don't know how that works yet. So that annoyed me a little bit.
Wait, Winona was in this volume?
Barely, yeah.
Is she still
she was the main
Jonathan's
character
mom too?
season 1. Remember when we were talking about that?
Does she still have 2 sons? Is Jonathan still a Byers, or did he lose that name? All right,
he's still a Byers. Yeah,
those are my notes. You keep going.
Hopper, I liked Hopper's "you got to be shitting me" attitude about literally everything. It was just like he had the attitude of Ben Affleck smoking a cigarette in that meme when he's just looking up, just like, oh, you got to be kidding me. And I loved, and I mean loved, the amount of Return of the Jedi talk that we got, and talking shield generators. And if this takes place in what, like 85 or something now, we're 2 years off that in 83. It makes perfect sense for all the kids to be still infatuated with it. Ewoks got a shout out. I loved that.
Yeah. Out of all the, I don't know how much Empire talk we got. I feel like Empire could have fucking been a full episode. I feel like, again, I was alive after Empire, but I wasn't alive actually for Empire. But like, I feel like that probably was on the top. Boba Fett was, Lando Calrissian, just nonstop mentioned. I just did a full rewatch. I might have to do another one. I wish we had more of that. Jedi is my least favorite of the original trilogy, which I don't think is a very hot take. I think it's probably on average the order. It's either 1, 2, 3 or 2, 1, 3 for people.
Yep.
But yeah, that was actually like one of the big saving graces of the season. Of the
great. Yeah,
was the Jedi.
Very good. And even like the environment in which they were talking about that fucking big energy orb or whatever that was, it all looked very cool visually. The heart and soul piano transition was so cool. I don't know if like that was a thing other people thought was cool, but when it was like the little girl playing it on piano and doing it in a very like slow way, and it transitioned into the real song, into this montage of the kids, I thought it was shot super well. This was Frank Darabont. Was that his name? The guy that directed Shawshank Redemption.
I think so.
He did chapter 5, and I felt like you could tell. We get reference to Mr. Clark. So, you found out in episode 5, he's coming back. He didn't come back yet, but I was so happy we got him back. He's one of the people that we shouted out a bunch in our rewatches, saying like, they got to bring Mr. Clark back.
That was my one, like on my wish list. Number 1, bring him back.
Yeah.
Don't kill him though. Like
they found a good way to do that too. That was also
yes.
like, it was smart to be like, oh, we don't have fucking Dustin, but we got his mentor. Let's bring him back. See in the picture. Again, scenes like that. I was like, all right, the internet's being too negative on this.
And my guy, Mr. Clark, he's getting waken up by these kids all hours of the night. He ain't sleeping that long, we're learning though. During that, he's he ain't nobody safe from Mr. Clark in town.
I thought Dustin and Steve finding like the lab that 11 was raised in was cool. Just them walking into that lab and us as the viewer knowing the historical like context of that. I thought that was really cool. And then the Jonathan and Nancy, like we first get some like relationship issues, and then in the next episode you get the full like breakup scene. But I feel like we kind of talk about that as a whole. Definitely. I thought really, really well done. Like really good writing, really good acting. It did kind of make me laugh that they did the Family Guy, The Godfather Insists Upon Itself scene. Like they were drowning literally. And Nancy was like, I don't like the Clash. I was like, she's saying the Clash insists upon themselves. But I thought that was like, it went from like, wow, this is a really nice breakup scene. And then at the very end, it made me really sad. I was like, damn, this is like, it made me happy that they're dating in real life. I'm like, oh, I could just like go look up red carpet pictures and then be like, they're together.
There's a lot of confusion with that one. Like
I know, I don't understand. People didn't get that was a breakup when he gives her the ring and says, "Will you not marry me?" Like he's obviously saying, like, we're not going to get married.
Yeah, did he say unproposed or unmarried or will you not marry me?
Yeah.
Sienna, now granted, she's an 11-year-old kid. She was like, do you know? She was talking to her friend. They're both like obsessed with it, and they just watch it like for days and will quote it and make jokes. She's like, wait, did you know that they broke up? And I'm like, oh my god. So and I've seen plenty of people.
What's an 11-year-old's take on it that loves Stranger Things?
She thinks everything in this show is gold. It's like watching Star Wars with my guy Robbie. It's and that was the other thing. I was like, I have to get everyone else's opinions because there's a chance old Bob Fox coming out positive Rob, and he's coming out 2 thumbs up with a big smile at his face.
I saw people in my mentions being like you're definitely gonna love it, like this, that. And I'm like, come on, guys, give me a little bit of credit, okay?
He's grown up. We've killed most of that part of his soul. Yeah, life has over time.
Some of that's died. And speaking of dead, rest in peace to all those other goth kids that couldn't even get the callback for like a quick scene where they die. They had masks on in the scene where they died. It was like, oh my god, they couldn't even call up the same people from season 2. Pretty metal escape scene in general, though. Like for 8, and I liked there was a 8 scene in this. Oh, the scene where she starts running door to door, and it's pregnant lady after pregnant lady. That was like, holy shit, that was dark.
We had to deal with this shit in House of the Dragon with pregnant ladies and bad things happening. Like that's we need protected classes in shows and movies.
Yeah.
Like don't do things. If you're gonna do something with pregnant women, just tell us what happened. Don't have to show it because it's just no one wants to see that. That's something in like the core of your body as a human. It's off. It's like hearing a baby cry. It's meant for you not to like to hear that. So you keep the species going. I don't want to see a pregnant woman suffering and no me gusta, did not like. I didn't like, I'll say it. I didn't like the Nancy and Jonathan thing.
You didn't?
No, I did see someone say at some point, did the actor and actress Natalie Dyer and I forgot his name,
Charlie Heaton?
Yeah, Charlie Heaton. Like, did they try to like change what happened in the scene? scene because you're like, what is going on right now? And the way the music's going,
I just took it as like they really like still like care about each other, and they've matured to that level where they both like understand, like we're not meant for each other.
Yeah, and
as great as this was for years, we're not meant for each other.
I did like the stuff because it's like, listen, you can love, other than us two who are dating / married to the greatest women on earth who have no flaws, you always can find a few things like, I hate when she's drunk, or I hate when he's high, like the stuff that they were arguing about. I hate the Clash, his favorite band. Like there are certain things, and if it's bigger things, little things, sometimes the little things become big. That I thought was very like real and relatable, and that kind of stuff I did like. But there was also some of it where I was like, what the fuck are we like? It kind of was with all the other stuff of this volume. I was like, I think there were better ways to go with the writing and the way that they portrayed it. But, and again, I'm still not sure, like, are we going to call it the paint room, the yogurt room, the cum room? I think it should just be the cum room.
Goo room in my
goo room.
Notes. The goo room, the goo area of the Upside Down is cool. That's what I wrote.
Did Dustin get it to solidify, or did it just solidify on? Did the shield generator like fix everything?
Was that supposed to be a little trash generator, like 3PO fixing it, like an R2? You know,
is Dustin R2D2?
Kinda.
He kind of is. He always comes through in
He's kind of like R2 and 3PO, like in one. He's not as like worrisome, but he has like the knowledge of 3PO.
I was gonna say, like, Harrington's not 3PO, right? And
no,
Dustin's
it's way
R2D2.
too cool. Harrington's too like cool. Han Solo.
Yeah, he is. See, guys, listen, we're gonna steer this fucking recap to like a bright side. We're gonna talk Star Wars, and we're gonna talk the Star Wars that everyone loves. We're not gonna start delving into the shit Bob Fox is fucking jerking off.
No, we would never.
there were some Rise of Skywalker. Did you see that?
Oh, that was people being fucking stupid. Come on. People being like, I can't believe they're doing the Rise of Skywalker thing in Stranger Things when she's lining up the telescope. Guys, it's the Goonies thing. You don't get to call that the Rise of Skywalker thing. It's the show like that does 80s kids movie parodies. They're not like, let's do the Rise of Sky. The Duffers weren't like the Rise of Skywalker nailed that. I liked it in the Rise of Skywalker because it was a reference to the Goonies. It makes so much sense. It makes way more sense to do a reference to the Goonies in Stranger Things than it did in Rise of Skywalker.
Now, to be fair, that they are very Star Wars centric, as we said, Jedi. We've had plenty of references, but it's also an 80s show that pays homage to it, and it had the MVP, the guy whose fucking name is on our MVP trophy, just happened to be in the Goonies, so it's not a coincidence here.
That when I saw that tweet, they really did the Rise of Skywalker thing. I was like, all right, this is why we shouldn't allow children to have Twitter.
What do we exactly? What are we doing, Bob? As the kids say, we're losing recipes here.
We're losing the ancient Jedi texts. I shouldn't bring that up.
Okay. Right. Yeah, we are going down a dark path right now, and I apologize myself for bringing it up as well.
My next note was I hate seeing Dustin and Steve fighting, but Steve shouldn't have been talking crazy on Eddie. I was on Dustin's side of that one where I was like, listen, I know we shouldn't be fist fighting right now, but you fucking push Dustin to the point where I understand why he's swinging.
I agree. Doing it to someone who lost someone very special to him, and Eddie like surpasses, because we see behind the scenes stuff Steve didn't even see, just how good of a dude Eddie was, how pure. To quote the old timeless gift, though, no lies detected. That's the one thing. Steve was right. Hashtag Steve was right, but hashtag Steve was wrong. It was wrong that he did it. He was right what he said. And, it's like Frank the Tank. Frank the Tank saying the Mets are going to lose 162 games. Not going to happen. They're going to lose every game by 50. Not going to happen. The Mets did not win the World Series. So was Frank right or was Frank wrong? It depends on your certain point of view.
But was he right in terms of saying, like, he didn't have to do that? He just wanted to be a hero. I thought he kind of had to do that to save Dustin.
That's the thing.
I'm played.
I have to go back and rewatch the film kind of thing here.
Yeah.
But I do feel like there was probably a way of not being the hero.
He just wanted to rip Master of Puppets in the Upside Down.
Hey, listen, I'm getting older now. I'm like, seriously, like at some point in life, like no one's going to remember my kids don't know who the fuck Babe Ruth is, right? And when growing up, he was the greatest legend of all time. At some point, it's like, if you're going to go out in absolute epic fashion, even if it's 18 years old
version. Yeah. The most metal moment, maybe, of the entire 3-episode block, I thought came in chapter 5 when dipshit Derek was shown his whole family with their eyes carved out, like dead. I was like, oh my God, that's terrifying.
That was like, I needed a few more moments like that from Vecna. I need Vecna to remind people what Vecna's capable of. And he's that bitch Tiffany or whatever her name is. He's just throwing B words around, and he's showing popped out family members' eyes. I kind of liked having a little more of Vecna, a little more gravity to it all. Mm-hmm. And that at that point he was Mr. What's It for him, right? When he was doing all that. So it was kind of nice to have the big bad feel like the big bad. So but I was like, oh shit, we're in this stage where we could just like, I did not like the bones popping that season and the eyes popping out. Back to that Dustin and Steve thing though, that little snippet, that conversation, the fight, and then like the emotion of it all, that was like, I'm like, why am I not getting more of this in this volume? You don't have a lot of time left. It was such a short scene too.
It was short. It was like
very
more
short.
Of this. Yes. Crazy. It's such crazy decision making. It's not even like the show. I didn't even think the 3-episode block wasn't bad. The decision making was bad. Like the show like elevated just by nature of I like these kids together. I like this world. Like that elevates like kind of tough planning.
I'll give you my sports reference for the episode here. This is like we have two buddies. It's 3 a.m. and they're playing Madden, and they're both playing with like sick ass teams, like quarterbacks that can run, receivers, running backs that can do crazy shit, but they're drunk as shit. And it's just an ugly game. You're like, the tools are there. We can have greatness, but the people making the decisions are not thinking clearly, or something's just wrong.
They're drunk.
Were the Duffer Brothers literally drunk? Were they drunk with power?
I don't know.
The people in charge of Netflix telling them to do stuff? I do not know. But I feel like there was just something missing. Because we did not have this discourse after 1, right?
No. Oh my God.
Or volume 1.
We didn't have, I don't know if we had this discourse after like any of maybe season 2, because we had that controversial episode, but yeah, and it's crazy out on those Twitter streets right now.
Yeah, it's crazy out there on these Twitter streets. Everyone like could just agree like that episode sucked in season 2, right? But everything else, we just did the rewatch, and then it kind of does bear out in those. I don't put too much stock in a lot of like ratings and Rotten Tomatoes and all stuff, but when you see those episode reviews, a lot of times it does bear out. Like there's a Simpsons one from back in the day, and there's one episode that was just when everything went wrong, and that just is like a black hole. It's like red, but everything else is green and yellow. This is all green, and then it's like you have those two just orange red death spots, and it's crazy we got it so close. I mean, I almost want to give them a pass and say this isn't the penultimate. That was not the penultimate episode because it's a 2.5 hour finale. So you're like, I'm trying to give them
the penultimate's the first half of the finale.
Yes, exactly. I'm trying to help these guys out. I'm trying not to be the negative guy. People call me the negative guy. I'm like, well, it's not just all sunshine. I'll suck Andor's dick the entire fucking time. I don't care.
Oh, I will too.
It was a lot of fun sucking that dick. I enjoyed it. Don't clip that, please. But hey, come on, we're just having fun in the basement.
Speaking of things I liked, the Demogorgon experiment, when we're fucking nailing the dead Demogorgon down on the radio. Awesome. That's what I want to see. Awesome.
I think the big thing we took going from the end of volume 1 was like, all right, not only do we have 11, which I'll get into that gripe in a minute, but now we got Will. So now we have some fucking powers. We have a little bit of power on these fucking guys. And then I'm seeing a shot Demogorgon. I'm like, we got the upper hand of these fucks. We're going to torture them, and then we're going to use that torture to then make the upside down accessible to us, and we're going to start using this shit. We are taking control. We got brains on our side since day 1. We know our D&D terms. Mr. Clark's coming back. Whole fucking squad. And that was pretty much the one time we like did everything. We'll get into the scene in the hospital. There was a lot of things I did not like about that scene, though.
Okay, we'll get into that as well. Holly. So the Holly and Max had this back and forth. I laughed so hard to myself when Holly gets to re-see Christmas Carol style what happened with her mom protecting her from the Demogorgon. And she says to Max, I just stood there. Why didn't I fight? Because you're 9. Because you're a 9-year-old girl. What are you talking about? Why didn't I? You're 9 years old. That's why you didn't fight the fucking monster in your kitchen that has 1,000 teeth. That just, I couldn't believe that. And then we do get an awesome, I think, ending to this episode in Vecna transitioning into Vecna as he's coming down the stairs. It was that cool shot they showed in the trailer where he goes from Mr. Whatsit or Henry Creel to Vecna. They hit this awesome mix between like Darth Vader music and Godzilla music for him. It was like they mashed those two up. Pretty fucking scary. The will possession of him, I thought was cool and well done. And when he says, "You have to run," he's screaming out of Vecna's voice. Badass. I kind of got bumped up talking about that right now.
Bumping.
And I thought it was very cool when he breaks Vecna's leg, and to get up, he puts his hand up on the piano and it strikes a horror chord. I was like, oh my God, they fucking thought that out. That was really cool. And then you end on Dustin like frantically screaming to Jonathan and Nancy, like, "Don't do anything. It's not what we think it is." Credits. So that was like high intensity, especially at this very point. I was like, oh, internet's being too negative. I'm going to come onto the podcast real positive.
Yeah. So at this point, yeah, you're going in with a different point of view. Yeah. Being like, man, what are these guys talking about? This is just another one of those hate piles.
The ending of that rock, that was great.
Yeah, 100%. And that's the thing. Like, people are like, everyone's being too negative. It's like, guys, it started good. We liked volume 1. I don't like everyone's like, or you're not sophisticated enough to it's fucking Stranger Things, guys. Come on. At the same point, we're not talking about fucking A Wrinkle in Time in our English class in 10th grade, and they're giving us all these metaphors of what everything means. It's fucking Stranger Things. And listen, I kind of already gone to that. The show we loved in the first, I'd say even 2 seasons, and then some of 3, it's gone. It's a different show. Yeah. And I do think my favorite part, my thing I was looking most forward to in 5 was, holy shit, they pivoted and gave us this whole new world at the end of 4 where we learned about Henry and the entire Upside Down and the Hawkins lab and how everything happened. And I'm like, oh man, they're going to wrap this up perfectly. And from there to where we are now, episode 5 ending, or even episode 7 ending, it's like, no. And again, it's not the show I'm looking for in my head. It's just like the previous 4 seasons have led us here, and it just feels like we're just starting another franchise. Like, if this is all to do a spinoff that we've heard about, I would lose my fucking mind. I would just go,
dude. I started thinking, are they trying to set Holly up for like a Holly show because she's the youngest of the, like you got a couple more years before she's an adult. Are they trying to focus on her to like backdoor pilot that? I don't know.
I can tell you right now, if the finale's awesome, it's awesome. I'm not just blindly jumping into a Stranger Things spinoff. I did it for Thrones.
I'm not jumping into a Holly show like that. I've seen some people suggest they could do a show with Nancy out like solving crimes, like kind of like a Detective Nancy show. That I was kind of like, ooh, there's something there probably. That could be interesting if you kind of change the tone, still do throwback stuff, but for that genre instead of more of a sci-fi fantasy thing. I was like, I could see that working. If you're telling me like Holly's gonna go fight Demogorgons or something, I'm out.
Yeah, I don't think any.
I'll give it a shot, but I think I'm out.
Man, our guy Bob isn't like, man, I can't wait for the Holly show. It's gonna be fucking great.
No.
We really lost him. You're like our sweet Will. You're growing up right before our eyes.
Yeah. Well, not exactly like Will. We'll get to that. Chapter 6, Escape from Camazotz, directed by one of our guys, Sean Levy. The explosion when she shoots the fucking shield generator that we think is a shield generator that's not a shield generator. Boom. Kind of sounded like the fucking Sonic Charge from Star Wars. Ooh. I thought they maybe like modeled that sound effect after it, being it was already a Star Wars reference.
Just love that Nancy went from the girl, the sweet, innocent, almost like prude she was looked at, to who's never touched a gun, to being shoot first, ask questions last, in all aspects of life, whether it's people, basically monsters, or scientific interdimensional unknowns into the sky. Right?
Did you see Nick Hammy's tweet about the Wheeler family? That really cracked me.
No, I didn't see it.
Is the Wheeler family picture, and he said the Wheelers, and then he said the Wheelers at 99%, and he just removed Mike and Mr. Wheeler. It's really the Wheelers, like the only ones getting shit done in that family are Nancy, the mom, and Holly. Yeah. Mr. Clark is full on back in this episode. Great to have him back. He's great in all the scenes. He's like a great, like, I don't know if you would call him a character actor, the actor that plays him, but he feels like a character actor to me.
Yeah, that's fair.
The Upside Down being a bridge between worlds. There's another world, the Abyss, Dimension X. We've kind of known about that already. We know like Dimension X and the Abyss is a thing or whatever. Like you, I think I follow what they're saying. I'm pretty much like broad strokes wise, okay, they showed us the wormhole thing and the Upside Down's the connection. I kind of like the way that everything's connected like that and how Vecna's lair with the kids looks like the wormhole and it's all like visually neat. It's just one of those things I feel like I can't think about too hard or else my brain breaks. I just need to like surface level accept like, yeah, it's the bridge between two worlds and then we'll figure it out later.
Yeah, if that was like episode 1, all right, this is what the Upside Down is, and we had 6, we'll just say 10 more hours worth of like, time to digest and learn about it and figure it out. I feel like we're just pulling this on the fly right now. Like we're not really
I was gonna say I don't trust the Duffers when they say that they've like known everything, the nitty-gritty details since season 1. I'm like, it kind of feels like you're making it up in season 5, though.
Yes. It feels like you've been making it up pretty much every season from after 1.
Which I'm okay with. It's just don't fucking piss on my ear and tell me it's raining,
So that was a fucking lie. That's like something you could just put on everything that they've said, it feels like, through the last like 10 years or whatever it's been. Again, I like the idea of the Upside Down. It's cool. This makes it, I think, less cool, a little more like you said, spacey. I also I'm kind of bummed. It's just like the Mind Flayer is just not a thing, and the briefcase, which we got a glimpse of. I hope we find out about the briefcase.
Is the Mind Flayer not a thing though?
It's a thing, but I would have liked to have learned more about the Mind Flayer in this volume, if not the previous volume, or at least have it around again. Or unless
do you think we saw it? Have you seen the tweet saying we saw the Mind Flayer?
What do you mean?
Vecna's little cave, that big fucking crazy thing that looks like an upside down dead spider.
Yeah.
Some people think that's the Mind Flayer.
It does look like
lying
the Mind Flayer,
dormant.
yeah.
It's got the amount of arms necessary. Some people think it's just gonna those arms are gonna go like Imperial shuttle style, go down, and then it's gonna stand up. And maybe that's still like some people are saying that's still the thing behind Vecna. Vecna's gonna have to Return of the Jedi this shit, and Darth Vader throw the Mind Flayer down the hole.
Mind Flayer Tardarium. It's an old code, but it checks out.
Yeah.
I
don't know. There's a chance that's the Mind Flayer, and it does the way it looked all creepy, upside down spider thing, like that creeped me out. I didn't like that, but I thought it was cool.
That is completely a personal. It's not even a criticism. It's just something I was hoping for, and we're not getting. And if we get it, it's not going to be in like a way I personally hope for. So, hey, if they've had this plan since 2016,
I also wonder.
Good on them.
We talked about, I think on the volume 1 recap, how the Broadway show and the show kind of contradict each other when it comes to who's at power, the Mind Flayer or Vecna. I think they contradict each other. And everyone's mentioned, oh, does that mean the Broadway show is kind of spoiling the show? Are we going to see that? If that's not the case, if they contradict each other when the show ends, do they retcon the Broadway show? Do they do a quick rewrite to Broadway? I don't know.
Did they know in 2016 if they got big enough and made a Broadway show, they were going to have to retcon it at some point? Is that going to come out like the Duffer Brothers?
When they were doing the 50s Stranger Things on Broadway? Like, if you told them that, they probably would have been like, "What are you talking about? Are you on acid?"
The Broadway show actually playing a role in this all. It's getting to the point where it is getting the
it's
Emperor
a little
Fortnite in Fortnite.
It is. It's a little bit. It's definitely more respectable to do it on Broadway and not on Fortnite. But
there's a lot less people that can go to a Broadway show in New York City
comes with it.
Than the biggest video game on the planet. The little class comes with it. Yes. If it was
it's not like there's a Travis Scott concert next door next to the fucking banana that's shooting the guy, and this is the plot of the movie. It's at least you're on Broadway.
It would have been cooler if that was like in a Netflix animated special that was on Netflix that everyone could watch. And if you're a Stranger Things fan, it's on you to watch it. Hypothetically speaking, that might have been the move instead of the Broadway play playing in one city in the world, which listen, we both could have gone to the play. We both are probably going to go to the play next year.
We're going to go. We'll do it. Yeah.
And again, it's either going to mean something or it's going to potentially contradict it all. And I don't even know. My brain is turning to the upside down just thinking of this right now.
Oh, how funny would it be if you're at the play? And probably wouldn't be funny, but to me it would be funny if like something happens and it's just a nerd stands up. That's not canon. That's not canon. He just can't accept it.
I mean, if someone got tickets for Christmas, this show crash lands the ending. And then that happens. You're gonna get them angry nerds.
Yeah, maybe tickets will go down if the finale's not good.
Because like imagine like if Game of Thrones had like a live Broadway play and then everyone hated that and like I have to go to this stupid play and they'd be like, why the fuck is Bran the King? And they're yelling at these poor classically trained actors. And
it's like town hall. It's just you're yelling your criticisms at the actors on stage. Something got spoiled on Hot Ones. I don't know if you followed this, but Will, when we find out that he built the tunnels, that was spoiled on Hot Ones. And I watched the Hot Ones video because I was excited for Stranger Things to come back. I like the press with the kids. I listened to it and then saw like the next day, Hot Ones has edited out the part of the video where he says, which made it very obvious that was going to be a payoff at some point. Will did, in fact, build the tunnels when he was asleep during season 2, which was another, like, I don't think that was the plan in season 2. If gun to my head, did that retcon perfectly? Yeah, it did. Like in the same way that, I don't think Vecna was the fucking plan season 4 when they were thinking about season 1, but the retcon was perfect.
Yeah. We just did the rewatch. So it's like, okay, if that's how you want to retcon it or whatever, I'm not going to argue with it. I'm perfectly fine with it. This is the other thing though. And this is a good like rule of thumb for people moving forward with other big franchises. If you go to the interviews, you watch them or you do the Hot Ones, whatever it may be, whatever kind of content they're pushing out, there is a chance you're going to get spoiled. There was something I believe with that. I don't know if it was Michael or Lucas had said, and I'm like, I'm not watching anything. If you're going to look at the toys, when the toys come out, you're going to get a spoiler potentially, Bob. You know that better than anyone.
Oh, yeah.
The Funko Pop, it has Wolverine in the new costume. Yeah. And oh, my God.
Lucas was the one I think you're talking about because I'm pretty sure he said, like, someone said, like, what was the finale like or something? And he said, well, I think Lucas said, well, I had a different finale than everyone else. And everyone took that to mean he died before the finale. That was his ending. I think he probably just had a scene he had to film from a different episode last.
There was that, and then there was another thing. I don't think there was that for sure. And then there was another actor who had said something, and people were connecting dots. Which again,
people really, try to like put it under a microscope and be like, "What did that facial expression mean?"
I'm still like, "Where does this fucking Oklahoma play?" I've been dying to find out.
Yeah, we put a lot of stock into that. We might not be going back there. That might have just been like a cheeky little reference to Broadway.
Just giant red herrings, just slapping me in the face.
There were a couple of conversations in this episode that I felt like were just made for them to cut into trailers. This is our story. We're going to write it. I was like, okay, that was for the trailer. So you could put it in there. The Vicky and Robin conversation, I thought was kind of funny when Vicky's like, you're on fucking drugs. You're drunk. And I kept going back and forth where I'm like, would you really not believe her? But I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't if this crazy thing happens in town and they put the metal bandage over it or whatever. And then everything kind of goes back to normal to a degree. I'm kind of like, is this like when the government nowadays is like, yeah, we have aliens, we have crafts that we don't know where they're from. And we kind of just go on with our day. And we're like, whatever. Stranger Things coming out tonight.
And like I say, like Trent was like, dude, a fucking alien like just took over my house or blah blah blah, being chased.
I'd be like, you're too high. You're on gummies.
Yeah. I was gonna say he's having a fake heart attack. That was actually you who had the fake heart attack.
That was me. Don't throw stones. That happens.
So say you said to Trent, there's an alien chasing me. He'd be like, Rob, are you in the gummies?
You're
again?
High.
Yes, exactly. So I did think that was funny. I got the flashbacks to when they're like fucked up off the truth serum, right?
Yeah,
and I was 100%. I was having fun. I had fun with that, so that was cool. And then like when it all comes through, she's like, "Yeah, honestly, hand up."
I'm sorry. Yeah, hand up. I fucked up.
And Dustin, if you're robbing, you're like, yeah, like trust me, I didn't think this shit was real until like a bunch of Russians and the bottom of the mall.
But there is part of you that's like, I told you.
Yeah. You get this all the time as a parent where your kids tell you the truth, but it's like in kid language and you're like, you're fucking lying. And it's like, oh no, you were telling the truth. It's just like, it doesn't, you weren't speaking in adult language.
From a
So
certain
it's
point
in
of
there.
view.
From a certain point of view.
Dustin and Steve making up after their fight, and Dustin grabbing Steve and begging him not to die. Give me some warm, cozy feelings. I love that scene. Short, albeit short, way too short. Really good. Really, really good. But then again, it's good while you're watching it, and then the episode ends with that fucking 5-minute long scene. And you're like, oh my God, go back to Dustin and Steve.
I think a lot of the best parts of Stranger Things are the Steve interactions with the kids, the Dustin interactions with Steve, just those two
A1
characters
acting
in
from
general.
Dustin too. The tears in his eyes.
Yeah, man. And it's just like, this is the thing that kind of just, it's like, I like being around these people. That's why I watch the show. I like these characters. And I feel like I'm just not getting them. And I do know I have a movie to watch. I'm excited for that. I think you can't just ignore a chunk of stuff I do not care about. Those things have now become very important for the movie. So I feel like our time together is fleeting right now. And stuff like that, where you're like, that was good. It was short. And some would say too short. So I'm with you. We knew that though. We know going in Henderson, just hearing him say Henderson, I love it, you know?
The Demodogs we get, which I thought this was really funny. The Demodogs we saw in the trailer for season 5, and there was one shot in particular where Lucas is holding Maxon in the elevator, and the elevator doors aren't closing yet. The Demodog's running right towards him. And I remember people saying this is a genuinely fascinating shot, because how the hell did they get out of this? It really made me laugh that the answer was just he kicks it. That was it. He just kicks the Demodog, then it closes, and then you get very much Jurassic Park vibes, obvious that they're trying to go for that. I don't know if I like that, because I'm like, you're breaking the 80s rule. Jurassic Park came out in 93, and we're giving an homage here. I didn't love that, Clem.
Didn't love it either. I did think the same thing, 90s versus 80s. And I said, you know what, though? Like, I think there was another, I don't know if there's a Terminator scene. There's another movie that I guess you could say, but
they did do Terminator as well, which I guess the first one is 80s, but most people think of T2.
I'm going more of like, and I don't know when they're in different stages of evolution, you know, from Dart to Demodog to Demogorgon, but it's like these motherfuckers are like ruthless hunters to the point where, but then they're downstairs, the motherfucker, it just has a boombox going, and they're just like, maybe down here, maybe not. Go slow.
Right after they rips the faces off of soldiers, like in the most gruesome fashion possible. Blood armor's heavy in this season.
And I just like, stop. Like, so I just don't give me, and again, I don't want to nitpick a show about demons and stuff, but it's like, don't give it to me like this. And then it's the save from the mom who was in the hospital, and she puts an oxygen.
She comes out of the fog. I laughed out loud. That was silly. She looked like one of the Harlem Globetrotters. What are we doing there?
I looked like one of the Harlem Globetrotters.
And crazy the way she came out of the fog.
I loved the dynamic of Lucas be like, this boombox cannot go off, and Robin's like, that boombox.
Is this the hospital scene you were talking about that you didn't like because of the boombox? Yeah,
the boombox. Karen Wheeler saving the day by throwing an oxygen tank in a fucking laundry room that she didn't know that was going to be there.
That kind of made
the
me laugh too,
Demodogs are kind of just taking their time. Yeah,
just how they're staring at the laundry machine. Huh?
Then I'm like, wait, do these things, can they hear? Like, I don't know what they can and can't do, because it doesn't make sense. And I'm like, again, suspend the disbelief or suspend belief. I never know the right phrase for it. But it's just like when you're in the moment, you're like, these things are a problem. And it's like, oh no, these things are fucking morons. I don't know what I'm supposed to think about them throughout just like the 5 minutes that they're on the screen, let alone now like moving forward.
Apparently they can hear. I just looked that up because I was like, I think they can, but I guess they can. I don't fucking know.
You would think so, except that they didn't follow the fucking music that they knew was playing in the hospital, I'm sure, because Vecna got the vision when he saw the room number and all that stuff, which was like an interesting way, a good way to get them to Max's room, because how the fuck else would they know?
That was good. I agree.
Right?
Yeah.
So it just like by the end of it, I'm like, oh, I'm starting to feel not great about this episode now, and which goes into the next episode.
Then we get chapter 7, the bridge. Max is awake. The gang is finally assembling. And this is where I'm, again, like, all right, is the internet being too negative? Because I'm seeing the gang get back together right now. And it's giving me some good Stranger Things feelings right now. Then you go to Holly and the Abyss and Dimension X and the dead spider base and all that. And I'm back to, all right, we're going to get a lot of Holly. And that was my note at this point. I was just like, I don't think Stranger Things every season has had a tradition of like adding characters to the fold, whether it be Max or Robin or Erica. Every season we do get these characters, and most of the time they hit. I feel like they've had a pretty good hit rate of like, okay, this is a good addition to the crew. I think they should have just focused on the characters that we knew coming into season 5. Again, no disrespect to like that the little girl that's playing Holly. Too much was asked of her. It's just like you shouldn't have been adding pieces to the board when you set the table at the end of season 4.
Yeah, and either you start wiping people off, which no one wants. We don't want them to die. Someone said if they had replaced Holly with Erica, that would have given you more. All right,
that would have been a little better.
I have more invested in this character. The thing is, Erica's a badass, so it's like you can't ever be like, oh, I got tricked by Mr. Watson, and she'd be like, fuck you.
Yeah, she would have destroyed Mr. Watson. He would have showed up and she would have been like, you turn your ass around.
It's like the Scream guy where he's like haunting in what's the
Scary Movie?
Scary Movie. And he's like, no! And it's Tori Spelling's going after him. When she dropped the P word, I'm like, Erica, Erica's apologize. Funny. She's funny.
They haven't used her enough this season. Like she's one where you could have given her some of they're overusing dipshit Derek a little now. You could have given Erica some of those scenes.
Yes, suck a fat one. All right, Derek. Like we got the catchphrase, Derek. We don't need it again. So, but again, I don't think they could have done it the same way with Erica as 1-for-1. But having a character that we care about in the Upside Down, I think would have changed it more than just here's Holly. Hey, listen, I don't want a young little kid dying. Now there's like 12 younger kids out. I don't give a fuck about any of these kids. I've seen this guy's Vecna.
You have some amazing. Someone needs to do a supercut of Clem's out of context quotes from this episode. You got some amazing ones.
Let me just tell you this right now for the little peek behind the curtain. Robbie knows this. My wife went to a Backstreet Boys concert in Las Vegas with her friends. She left this morning at 7 a.m. flight out. So I am home alone with the kids on Christmas break, and we're in the point now, December 27th, where like they're already done with the Christmas toys, but I still have the Christmas toys just like laying around the house. I'm done with kids already. And then I'm watching these stupid little assholes on the screen. So I'm like, I'm just surrounded by kids, and I'm like, God damn it. So yeah, I have a little bit of hate in my heart. Just letting it out.
Also, wait, can you say what AJ's favorite present was? Because that cracked me up.
His favorite, well, the first one when he first
the one that you said like almost brought tears to his eyes.
First present he opens, he goes, Dad, I want AirPods for Christmas. So I went to Five Below and saw a white pair of knockoff AirPods. Opens, goes, and he goes, hugs me, gives me 2 kisses like on the cheek. I don't think he's ever kissed me on his own accord in his life, literally. And my wife goes, oh my God, he's tearing up. And it was AirPods, shitty $5 AirPods. And I just want to tell this one story real quick because I couldn't tweet it because I would get Ruth Khanna forever. I swear on their lives that it happened. On Christmas morning, it was 6 a.m. They're like, Dad, can we go out? We want to look at the presents. I go, Santa didn't come last night, guys. Yeah, I pulled this every year. Santa didn't come last night. I go, listen, Santa got really tired. He couldn't go to the U.S. It was his last stop. He didn't go to the U.S. Hand to God. AJ goes, that's all right, because that means kids in Philadelphia didn't get presents either. And then he goes, or Dallas. And I'm like, this kid has been born as a Giants fan of hate now. He is just, he's Vecna. He's fucking football fan Vecna at this point. He goes, it's all right. The kids in Philadelphia didn't get presents either. Now, he knew I was bullshitting him, but what a line, huh?
I know it's a long time till October, but you and him as Dr. Evil and Mini-Me for Halloween is right there on the table for the taking.
Thank you for that, Bob. That's good. I'm gonna have to watch all
the two you guys with the fucking. I liked getting in this episode some adults that hadn't experienced the craziness that the kids experienced. Like their eyes are getting open. Mike explaining it to his mom for the first time. It was like an eye-opening thing. Mr. Clark, the science guy, getting to see some real unexplainable science shit. I liked all of that.
Yeah. Mike Mike's actual reaction is his little sister is being held hostage. His mom is in the hospital. His dad's in the hospital. And his sister's battling unknown demons in the Upside Down now. Let's move on, Bob. You keep going. But there is something like, but you know, when you say it though, it does make sense. Like if our town got turned upside down, but then they just band-aided it up, maybe people be like, whatever. Yeah.
You go on with your life.
Yeah. You just, that's the whole 80s trope. You believe the government, and government is more corrupt than anybody. And that's how all these shows went.
Speaking of the government, why did we bring Linda Hamilton into this show? There's no reason why she was in this season. And I like Linda Hamilton. Nothing against her. I thought it was actually like a good idea when it was presented. Okay, bring in a classic, like nostalgic actor that everyone sees right away. We're like, oh shit, they did nothing with her. Nothing.
I said it after volume 1. I would have rather Papa come back. I would have just rather that. It would have been so stupid. But like at this point, he has like 9 lives as it is. Figure out a way. Like
distinctly Mama. Like we should have been talking about her like she had a connection to Papa. Instead, it's just like she's just another faceless like military person. She just so happens to be Linda Hamilton.
Yeah, and like they're really hitting. Like when you see her, I'm seeing her not as her character. I'm seeing her as Linda Hamilton playing badass 80s military chick because she's Linda Hamilton, and it's just bad, man. And I haven't liked the military stuff since the Russians came into our lives in season 3. The little stuff they did in 1 and 2, whatever, I was fine with that. I just don't like the way it is. I don't like when little kids are that's right. I don't like that they have just like machine guns and kids are running away from machine guns. I don't like that. And it's just becoming like everyday life. At this point,
like it becomes like 80s action. It almost becomes Commando more than it becomes like an Amblin movie.
Like, yeah, exactly. Hopper, I'm like talking to myself. I'm like, he's going in with the truck. I'm like, I think he was in Nam, right? I think they alluded that at one point he went to Nam.
So he was at war.
I'm like, all right. Hopper, he's just dusting off. He was a fucking awesome guy with the machine gun. And my girl, I love my girl, my sweet little Rambo Nancy. She's just taking out military guys, like a battalion.
She pops out at the top, like when she's in the fucking truck. That was again. I was like, is that a little Chewbacca popping out of the AT-ST? Are they doing a bunch of Return of the Jedi references? I don't know. That did make me laugh. I had that as a note. Like Nancy pops out of the truck like fucking Chewie in an insane scene to end the episode.
And Linda Hamilton's still alive, and she's, you goddamn motherfuckers.
And it's like, did they keep her alive to give her like a satisfying death in the finale? Because I feel like she hasn't even done enough fucked up shit to be like a satisfying, like, I'm so glad she's dead. It's like, kill her.
I kind of want her to like join the team and be on our side. Like,
sure.
But I don't give a fuck. Like, or turn into a Democrat. Like, I don't care. Yeah, I just don't care.
When Vecna has Holly like floating behind him, I thought that was a little Han and Carbonite floating behind Boba reference. I'm just relating everything to Star Wars. I don't know if it's just the way I'm looking at things through a X-Wing visor lens.
This is like, I'm going to try to say this in a way that's not disgusting. Bob's big moment at Barstool, the one that really put him on the map, was obviously when he had not had any pleasure for a few.
What did they call it in Seinfeld again?
There's
a word for it in Seinfeld. I forget.
Yeah. And Kermit puts down the money. I'm out of here. Master of your domain. Right. Yeah. Like when you're the master of your domain and it's been a while, you start seeing things. My buddy used to say, there's things I used to find disgusting and I found like charming. There's things I thought were gross that I now find unique. Bob just needs to watch Star Wars. Just watch the original trilogy, Bob. Yeah, and then you can watch this with a clean
that's my prescription. You just gave me a prescription and I can bring it to my television and say, here you go. Give me Empire Strikes Back.
No blasters coming out of this dick.
Yeah. Steve had my favorite delivery of the episode when Robin makes the dick joke and Steve's like, what the hell is wrong with you? He just looks at her and goes, what the hell is wrong with you in front of everybody?
That dynamic is just one of a kind. That was I've seen that too. My boy Steve, he was feeling himself too, right? And
it was very funny.
Yeah.
They laid out the whole plan there. Holly smacking a little kid with a book like it was a steel chair was very funny.
Yes.
Just right over the head. Boom.
The kids, like, I'm like, is they gonna just kill Holly? Like, I think we're gonna get her strangled to death, just an old-fashioned stomp down. Then she's fighting back, and I'm just like, yeah, kick these little fuckers' asses. And then it's just, I just felt weird. And I'm just like, I don't know any of their names other than Dipshit Derek.
I know.
Holly. Yeah. They're non-existent to me. Like, it would be fucked up if the kids were getting like fucked up or like haunted by Vecna, but he's already done that to kids. He did it to Will in the first season. So it doesn't carry as much weight in my mind.
Then we get Max in a very felt like a meta moment being like, listen, I've been almost killed many times. When she said that, I laughed because it was almost felt like they were acknowledging to the office, the audience. We know that's a little ridiculous. We get a little shout out to the Butthole Surfers, which I thought was great. I didn't expect them to be shouted out in Stranger Things. And we did get a sorry from Steve Harrington, which was good.
Hat in hand Harrington. He does the job. The hair, good looks. His redemption, again, I had the burning fire of hate in my heart for him. He's like top 3, top 4 characters.
Yeah. And you mentioned the hair. As nice as that breakup scene was between Jonathan and Nancy, tough that she hit him with he has better hair than you in that moment. Like, that one cuts through the niceness and that stabs you like a dagger. He's going to be replaying that moment in his sleep.
That's true.
And this is my first note on 8, by the way. We haven't really talked about 8. They brought her back and, she's doing the, we can stop this tonight. And she's getting 11. She's kind of saying they have to sacrifice themselves. They have to stay there. And I'm like, there's got to be another way, lady. Millie Bobby Brown ain't dying in this show. I don't know if you've been watching the last couple seasons, but the plot armor exists here. My note about her was that she just looks ridiculously small next to 11.
Yeah.
The last time we saw them standing next to each other, they were, 11 was smaller. Now 11's 3 feet taller than her. It was great. I was like, oh my God, she's the shortest person I've ever seen.
Millie Bobby Brown hit that growth spurt. And I'm just going to leave it at this. The Millie Bobby Brown, the close-ups.
I know. It's
okay. I'm not going to even say it. In
the nicest way possible. She looks a lot different. She looks a lot different.
It's a lot different. Yeah. And it's like, hey, that's what you want to do. That's what you want to do. It's just don't do the close-ups then. You don't have
I think you call that lip filler. They call
lip filler, yes. Yeah. 8 is is sus even the word for it? It's like she's so clear. I feel like she's turning on us or going to do something wrong. It's like
you think she's turning on them? I don't think she's turning. I think she's genuine, and I think she just thinks that we got to die. And it's like I just don't think you know everything that about this.
Maybe not a turn, but she's gonna she's trying to force 11 to do something that she doesn't have to do, and I just feel like we're gonna be rooting against her. Basically, be like, no,
she might be. Yeah, you might be right. She might be holding on to 11, we have to stay when everyone else is like, no, you don't. You definitely fucking don't.
We get out all the time. We've been doing this for 5 fucking seasons, girl. Don't worry about it. She showed up on screen at the end of Volume 1, and I do feel like it's gone downhill basically ever since I do not like 8. I just do not like
the kiss of death. Yeah.
She's the kiss of death. I'm actually to the point where our boy Ed is like, I really like that episode. I'm starting to have second thoughts about our guy Eddie Barstow now. Which again, I'm always to each their own. If you like a certain thing, listen.
I didn't hate that episode because it felt like it was superhero training, superhero origin stuff.
It just the timing of it, we went through this all during the rewatch. The timing of it felt weird, and it just was like a full-blown episode instead of just scenes here or there. I don't like the character. I think she's potentially going to play way too big of a role for what she has given us in the 5 seasons, which is not much. And then, can I just say this too, since we're bringing fucking numbers? 11 is just not in the show anymore. There was a time when this show was an 11 show. And listen, there were times where she'd disappear for 3 or 4 episodes because you almost need her to disappear. And then when the glass breaks and Stone Cold comes to the ring, it's Stone Cold. Stone Cold. She comes in, boom, cracks this Demogorgon, sends this motherfucker to hell, nosebleed, passes out, credits roll. Yes, we did it. We'll see you tomorrow night on Raw. She's just not here right now. She's just not even in the show.
To make my sports analogy for the episode, it's a little bit Aaron Judge in the playoffs right now. It's all right, listen, If you get us to the World Series and you start hitting grand slams in the World Series, all is forgiven. The entire playoffs, I'm fine with. But if we lose in that World Series, we're going to look back and we're going to say, what the fuck was Aaron Judge up to in the playoffs? You know what I mean, Clem? Is that a decent sports analogy? I know I'm not the one usually making the sports analogies, and I know it's not Millie Bobby Brown or Eleven's fault. It's not like she's choosing not to be in these scenes, but it's a little bit like this better be an unbelievable episode for 11 in the finale.
It does. So, like, who was it? I think it was like Martin Maldonado or someone was the only guy who had a worse average in the playoffs than Judge with the amount of plate appearances. And it does feel like this is potential dropping the ball in center field in Game 5 moment.
And I know it's not her. It's the Duffers. It'd be fucking. It's Boone not playing him or something. But I think time to play him.
Yeah, time to play your fucking home run hitter who can hit 60 in a season, no problem. I don't know if it was KFC or someone else, but someone tweeted like, "Could they just not afford her for this season? Like, is their asking price too high and they couldn't get enough screen time?" It's crazy.
And then we get to the scene, Clem. We're an hour and 11 minutes into the pod, and we're finally at the scene that everyone's been talking about, the most controversial scene of the entire season, most controversial scene of the series. I don't know. It's the Will coming out scene. And I'll open by saying, I don't think the acting in this scene is that bad. I thought the tears were flowing at all the right moments. I think it was just, as everyone else is saying, the wrong place and the wrong time for this conversation to be had. I think this conversation should have either been had at the beginning of season 5, at the end of season 4, you could have done it. But if we're talking just season 5, you could have done it at the beginning of season 5, or you could have done it at the very end after we've defeated Vecna. I think it was very weird tonally to do it right before we head into battle while everyone is wearing their battle gear. People look ridiculous. This is also a scene where he's coming out to like 17 people in the room. And it's like some people, we've got Max in a wheelchair. We've got some people in ghillie suits. We've got some people in their military gear with guns. It just looked like she was like, it looked like the news was getting broken to like a Ruby's Party City. Like it was so strange. And again, the acting, I didn't think was bad. I don't think it was bad. The writing was a little rough. It was a little on the nose and rough. The people saying Stranger Things got woke. They could go fucking kick rocks. The first conversation I think Joyce and Hopper ever had in the entire series was about Will being gay. Like, this has been from season 1. It's not a thing they decided he's going to be gay. This was something I think they had planned since season 1.
They hammer it early, as we did during the rewatch.
That is not an issue for me whatsoever. I knew eventually we were getting this scene, and again, some of it was played out well. I just think they picked the wrong time and place and setting, and it was just like the fate of the universe, and everyone you know and everyone you don't know is at stake right now. We're about to go into battle. We need to focus on the plan and not be worried. Like, everyone in the room should have been like, good for you, man. We can't worry about that right now. We're going to battle.
Yep. After, when he realizes that's how he can get his powers, is about him, about not Will or not Michael, but about him and being comfortable with himself. And that's how he can embrace it. That could have happened right after then at some point. You know, they get the gang back together and then we start volume 2. But like you said, it's like the first time we got everyone together. It's to the point where it's like those pregame shows for like the Super Bowl. There's like 15 people at the desk. And you're like, wow, why is everyone here? A big part of Stranger Things, I think, in general, which we got with Billy, we got with the basketball players a little bit. Obviously, some of the folks who talk about Will is like the bigotry and the racism and the stuff. It's hard to do that kind of stuff if you are a black person or you are a gay person, someone that's not the typical white male in a place like Hawkins in the 80s. Tough, right? I'll understand all that. We knew this was coming, like you said. Time and a place. I think the Duffers have fucked this up. At the core of a lot of these criticisms is that they just didn't have the right time and place for a lot of this stuff. And
they treated it like it was the Herb Brooks speech, dude, where it was like, that was the Braveheart speech, where it was like, wait, like I wrote, oh my God, this is indeed tough. That was my note on this, where it was like, I heard so much about it. And then it hit and I was like, oh my God, it's actually as bad as they're saying.
It reminds me of a scene where everyone just happens to be together. They're all ready to go. And then
That was the other thing. Yeah, like
it reminds
everyone coincidentally together.
You know what it reminds me of? And it's a scene that I actually said I liked. It was the end game. She's Got Help, where literally every girl in the MCU comes to this one part of the battlefield, and they're like fine, not fighting everyone. They're all clean and they're like, she's got help.
Or a farm. Yeah.
And listen, exactly. And listen, I have an 11-year-old daughter up there. When she saw that scene and those girls, she geeked the fuck out. And I said, listen, I said it in the recap. If you go back, it was like our second podcast ever here. Yeah. I said, that was tough. But you know what? It was for a certain audience. And this thing, or this speech, it was for a certain audience, and it was something that people have been waiting for years. And I was like, I said to my wife afterwards, I go, you know, there's people who love that, or you see that on screen. I understand the point of it. But man, just time and place. It's like when the Mets lost Edwin Diaz and the next day they lost Alonso, I was like, man, that's really shitty timing. If they lost one and then a week later was the other one. But the fact they did it at the end of the episode with all those people, they're looking goofy as hell. And I was just like, people are going to get angry about that. And, you know, Lucas is going to have 5 Demogorgons on him and then be like, oh, you know what? Will doesn't like pussy. He's going to get all fired up. Like, that's going to make them Hulk up or something, you know?
Even, like, the way he said it when he was just like, I don't like girls. Like, that line, I was just like, ooh, that wasn't the line they should have wrote in terms of it was like, he's too old to deliver that line that way now. That's how he should have delivered it if he came out in season 3 or 4, maybe 4, 2 or 3. It was, I don't know if the amount of people too, I don't know if that was supposed to be empowering, that I'm in front of all these people and I'm finally comfortable enough in myself to say it in front of everybody. And if that is what they were going for, fine. I could completely understand like that mindset. For me, I just thought, wouldn't it have been nicer if he came out to his friends first and then everyone else, where it was more of an intimate conversation, where they did like the Rudy thing, or me, or me, or me, or me.
Oh, that was
people that are like, bro, you barely even know Will. Someone said, have Steve and Will had a conversation, Steve, or me? You're not going to lose Steve. You never had him. You know what I mean? Where it's like, he should have had I thought he should have had that conversation with his friends where they really embraced him. And they were like, well, we fucking love you. We don't care. We're going to go fight a fucking demon. We don't care that you're gay. Like, doesn't change anything between us. And then you could go out and maybe he breaks that to everyone after the battle. And it's like, hey, you just got saved by a fucking gay guy. You better be okay with it. I don't know. It was just, there was something about the execution of that it did not hit the mark where it needed to. It's a small target to hit to make that scene really like powerful and hit the emotions they want it to hit. But I didn't feel like they hit it.
I feel like the Duffers knew that was it was a target. It was a big moment that people have been waiting for. And I think they boned it. They crashed the plane on that moment for sure. The amount of people who've been like, does Michael know that he's supposed to like have a reaction that Will's in love with him?
Which he has a little like, he kind of looks, I think he's supposed to know. I think he's at that point when he's like, I like someone that wasn't the same as me. Which people are there's still a huge subsect of fans that thinks they're getting together at the end of this. I do not think that's the case, guys. I don't want you to get your hopes up. I said that about Reylo and Rise of Skywalker. I was like, guys, they're not getting together. And then they fucking kissed. I was like, no, what's happening?
If we get to Rise of Skywalker for the finale, we have a whole other set of problems if we're, drawing more comparisons to there for
sure. What if they say, what if they like somehow Papa returned?
Right? I'm telling you, Bob, don't fucking put it out of the you know what just came on Stranger Things, right? Or, just came on Fortnite, Stranger Things skins. So they are in the game now. So we might get Papa returns in Fortnite. Then he shows up in the game.
I just saw they're putting Pulp Fiction in Fortnite too. I was like,
are they?
Rated R shit. They're putting Jules in Pulp Fiction in Fortnite.
Does he have the
he's got the someone said you could do it
with the thing.
Someone said you could do four characters, foursome team, whatever, of only Samuel L. Jackson characters. You could do like Frozone, Nick Fury, Jules, and I think there was one other that he had.
Well, and then the fucked up thing of it all is
Mace Windu.
Mace Windu. You have a little pet now. It's just a sidekick, does nothing, just goes next to you. Groot, Baby Groot is now available. So I can be like, I'm gonna buy myself Jules and Baby Groot. It's like adult game, kids game, played mostly by kids. It's an absolute mindfuck. But again, AJ for the first time said he was proud of me when he goes, Dad, are you guys partners with Epic? I'm like, what are you talking about? I go,
you gotta show him the video on Roan.com. I mentioned him.
Oh, you did? Okay. So
because we did a Roan.com video, who in the office could get the furthest in Fortnite. Spoiler alert, it was ya boy. I got top 5, I think.
Because AJ
but
trained
at some
you.
point, yeah, well, I said that. I was like, yeah, I did a stream with Clem's son once. And Rowan was like, what? I was like, yeah, he's sick.
Oh my God. So yeah, if that would happens and Papa somehow returns, I honestly wouldn't bat an eyelash. Someone had a great line too. That's the one thing about this all. If it's bad, the memes that come out of it are actually much better. And someone's like, yeah. And like there was one bigot there who was like, oh, I don't want to mess with the gay guy. And someone goes, yeah, why do you think Erica wasn't at that part? Like, oh,
or Dipshit Derek. I've seen some people do edits of Dipshit Derek there. And like, I feel like someone like that would have kind of provided like a little levity. And I know they didn't want levity in that moment. They wanted it to be very serious. But like, I don't know. I didn't think that would have been like disrespectful. I thought that would have worked. And like everyone else could have like smacked him in the back of the head, like, stop being a bigot.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
This is our friend.
Like
Nothing's
Steve
changed.
Steve was usually a guy like that, right? Who has no interactions with Will. Would have almost been that might have been when that whole fitting thing should have been said, and then you know, Robin.
Oh, and someone said when he says like they were my Tammy or whatever. So everyone was like, wait, did he out Robin to everyone else?
Yeah, that was fucked in itself.
That was another thing. I was like, if I was Robin, I'd be like, wait, what? No, don't say that.
Because it's not a known fact at this point. You know, her and Vicky are just
I think a couple people, pals. Yeah, but yeah, and I don't think the 17 fucking the Royal Rumble worth of characters in that scene knew.
Yeah, and listen, I love the Rumble, but when you get this many characters in the ring, I'm like, let's just start throwing motherfuckers out.
Throwing people out. Let's get Yokozuna in there so we know he does the big spot where he eliminates a bunch of guys at once.
The best is when you got Yoko or Taker. You're like, all right, we're gonna get rid of the riffraff and we're gonna start trimming.
Yeah. We need boys sure Kane's coming and be like, all right, clear the room.
Listen, guys, you guys tune into this. If the show's good, bad, or ugly, we're gonna throw as much Star Wars and wrestling references as we can to get us through.
Some sports on the side, yeah. That was all I had on volume 2. Those were all of my notes. I don't know if you had anything else.
No, you basically nailed it all. I think the discourse has been tough but fair. I do think that it could be awesome. It could be a great finale, and we'll look back being like, all right, whatever. It was a little bumpy ride before the landing. I wish I had more I wish I had more of just all the party, the D&D party, L, even Hopper, Joyce. I feel like Wynonna's not even in the show anymore. Like you said, she was the main character in season 1, and I know her role has completely changed. But like, I guess it's like just take all the stupid kid parts out and put all my other kids, all my, you know, the old school kids, along with everyone else I like in their scenes. And I think we'd be in a better place, but you never know. MVP, Bob the Builder MVP, and LVP. Before we do MVP, that, I have a special guest here, Sienna. She wanted to come on the show.
Oh,
she could come on. And just,
what's up?
Hi.
So the 11-year-old review of Stranger Things, we could, you know, the whole everything we've gotten right now, but mostly volume 2, volume 1 and 2. Give me, you can't go long here. We're at the end of the podcast. It's been very long.
Can I like say it like really, really fast?
Yeah.
Like who I don't like. So volume 2, since I watched it with my best friend, we both hate Kali. We think she just is trying to get Elle into this thing, and like with Mike in this whole thing, but we actually think that Mike likes Will and that they should be together. But like she said all this thing about this Tammy, and I'm like, no, stop doing that, Will. You've been crushing on this guy for so many years. And then the show is just like obviously great. Season 3 is my best season. People don't agree. I don't know why they don't agree. It's crazy. And overall, this is just a good show. And I'm addicted to watching it.
So she's an absolute fan, and she's excited.
Look at my phone case.
Stranger Things phone case?
Yeah, it was a very Stranger Things Christmas here at the concert.
Very nice. Very nice.
So who do you
I saw
think
the Stranger Things section at Target sold out. I was at Target this past week. The entire section sold out.
We checked our Target. Like I told them we need to go to Target to check this, and it had nothing there. And like we asked them, "Do you have any Stranger Things stuff?" And they're like, "You know what? I think we have a Stranger Things toy in the back." And it was like $30 just for like a little character.
Remember little people? Remember those like the big Legos? 3 of those for $30. Or we bought her a crochet kit, which was open and then promptly, you know, forgotten about.
Yeah, because I do not know how to do that.
Yeah,
So
tough.
that's what the 11-year-olds are saying on the streets right now. They're believing in the Mike and the Byler.
It has to happen. It has to happen. I'm telling you.
That's good. That's like we're connected with the youth now.
Yes, we have.
The
an
kids have been
idea.
saying we're unk. Now we're not. Now this is a podcast for everybody, all ages.
What's your least favorite episodes? 6, 7.
LVP is unfortunately Holly for me. It's not her fault, but LVP. And then MVP, I think it's Dustin, because I just liked his scenes the most. Whenever he was on screen, I was happy, whether it was a Return of the Jedi reference, whether it was the fight he got into with Steve or them making up. We got very, very little Dustin, but when we got him, he rose to the occasion, I thought.
That's fair. I'll go LVP. I mean, I think Holly's the right answer. I'll add the little kids in as well. Just waste of my fucking time. Bob the Builder Memorial MVP Award. Bob
the Brain, by the way. We're
Bob the Brain. I call him Bob the Builder. And I made that whole thing about Bob the Builder being British.
Yeah. Which I later found out there's an American version of the dub too, so whatever.
Oh my God. I could go Dustin. I could go Steve.
It's like trying to give an MVP out when you lose.
Yeah. I might give
we didn't really score, but someone's getting it.
I'll give it to Steve. Vecna? Do I give it to Henry? Henry, I think, had a better volume 1. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
So I'll give it to
Steve.
Steve.
Too much in this one. Other than that one scene where he gets possessed by Will, I thought that rocked. That was a cool Vecna scene overall. Yeah. Didn't do much other than that.
Yeah. So I'll give it to Steve, and it's basically just piggybacking off your Dustin pick because they were together.
Yeah.
And then I think it's pretty clear to say if we're ranking them, we're going to go volume 1, then volume 2 so far.
Easily. So easily.
And I will say, I don't know if 5, it's going to have to be a hell of a finale, I think, for 5 to get out of like the bottom third for me.
Agreed. 100%. Right. It's not going to be over 1, 2, or 4 so far, unless the finale knocks our socks off.
And it can again, the way they ended 4 was like, holy.
Yeah, true.
Shit. And they get to really just let all the, all
the finale's as good as the episode where they unveiled the Vecna backstory. If it's just that good, I'm happy.
So there's 3 obvious possibilities here when we record this in a week. It hit, and we're like, holy shit, did it hit?
Yep.
It kind of hit, it kind of missed,
one.
Or it fucking bombed. And listen, as a guy that did a Game of Thrones podcast that was giving 1-star bomb, got 1-star bomb reviewed by a bunch of fucking people that said we were haters, and now we look like the smartest fucking people on earth. I hope we are not there, because I do not like reviewing bad stuff.
I know. Unfortunately, that'll be the best reviews, is a train wreck. Because that's also, I think, the reason why the discourse is all over right now. And people are like, everyone hated this. No, I think not everyone hated this. I think a lot of people probably watched it and were like, yeah, it was good, and didn't think much about it. Like they don't think about it like we do. It's just the negative stuff is going to get the most engagement and the most people riled up on the internet, as always. So like when things do go in a negative direction, that's why everything goes crazy. There wasn't more people watching this volume than last volume. People didn't start watching the show with volume 2. It was just more talked about this time because it was a little more negative, I think.
Yeah.
And that's what algorithms are built for too. Like algorithms are built for negative content.
And I'm not going to, this is on X, it's Twitter. I don't think it's that. I just think some people really like this show and they did not like the way it's starting to head. I think it's the people that like the show the most are a lot of times the ones who have the biggest criticisms of it when it goes a certain direction that they do not like. I would love to see, it's so hard to live in a world. I'm trying to think like if it didn't get too big, it would almost be better. And you can just wrap up in your own way because you don't have the weight and the money and the different
and the characters, the amount of characters.
Yeah. Oh, it's craziness. There's so many people in that room. There's so many people in that room, Bob.
Do you have any big predictions for the finale? My 2 that I kind of have been sticking with are that the dice theory will be correct. That you talked about.
Okay.
Rolling up to a 20, get an 8, 11, and the power of 1 or whatever it may be with 1 included. And I kind of do think it's not like a super unique prediction that the series will end with the group playing Dungeons and Dragons. I've seen a lot of people talking about that. The Duffer Brothers talked about season 1, filming those scenes, how much they loved it, and
That was
how
their favorite
nostalgic
scene.
they are for that. Exactly. So I'm like, were they kind of hinting at they're going to wrap everything up in a nice bow with that? I think that would be a cool way to end.
I like that. Is Vecna dying? Is that just too clean of an ending? Is there something else that happens here?
He's got to die. He's got to die.
I hope Joyce goes back to Cali. Just go back to Cali. Like, why don't all these people just go back to?
Go to California. Yeah.
I'm actually realizing this now, and like Mike should be like the only people who should be locked in on the Upside Down right now are Mike and Nancy because their sister's stuck there, right?
Mm-hmm.
But everyone else, you leave like I don't know if you have to even leave Indiana. You could just leave Hawkins, and I think Vecna, you're like out of his cell phone range. He can't get you. It's the title of the creator tweet, right? It's like, yo, just close your eyes. Like, just
you can't
go
get cyberbullied.
another.
Close your eyes.
Do you think it's just a zip code thing? Like, you just have to go to the next zip code. It might not even
like
be
Wi-Fi. He's immediately like, wait a minute, I don't have connection.
You can probably stay in the same school district. You just have to get a certain amount away from like Creel's house, and you're fucking fine. You don't have to worry about it. So I don't know. But the problem is now we're at the point where he's gonna bring Dimension X into the planet Earth. Yeah. Which, hey, if that happened episode 1 of this season, it would have been fucking awesome. We could have had some cool shit. This is not the show we got. We'll see where it goes. I'm hoping for the best, bracing for the worst. Let's just do a quick body count here. Deaths. Obviously, we did the Deadpool already. How are you feeling now going into it? Maury, is his name Maury?
Maury, yeah, I think so.
Maury? It's Maury. I know I said it wrong when Eddie was on. Think he could be meat?
Murray, right? Is it Murray?
Murray, yes.
Yeah.
I was saying Maury.
I don't think, like, I was going into this season thinking a lot of deaths. I was thinking, well, like, people are going to be dropping like flies. I no longer think that. I think they would have been killing off throughout the season. Like, you almost can't do a lot of deaths in the finale because they'll each lessen each other. If you do 10 deaths, you do no deaths.
Yeah.
Almost, where, like, so I almost feel like we'll still probably get a big one, but I don't know if it'll be a massive one. Like, I think it's almost going to be a Guardians of the Galaxy 3 where we went into it thinking we're going to get a bunch of deaths and we're going to leave it with the entire main cast intact. Even like the Robins and the Erica's, Robin's girlfriend. I think like Murray might be the only death. I think Hopper's too on the nose at this point when we're having the conversations of you were going in to kill yourself and sacrifice yourself. You were always going to do that. I think it's too on the nose now. That's also apparently an issue. Apparently David Harbour's getting canceled and Netflix has everything contained right now. But as soon as January 2nd hits, people think that he's going to be canceled. It's crazy. Yeah. There's some tough stories going around the news about him right now.
The Hopper deaths, we've talked about that. Callie, she was calling her. I was like, who the hell is Callie? Because I call her 8 in my head. Like, kill her, please, just for the love of God. Just get her out of this stupid
She'll universe. Probably die. Yeah, you're probably right about that.
I think she's probably cooked. 11, like you said, with the plot armor. Like, there was a chance.
Obviously, yeah.
Vecna gone. I think
don't think they'll sacrifice 11. Right. Honestly, I think in the back of their minds, they're thinking like, we're coming back for The Force Awakens in 15 years.
I want to have that point. I mean, the thing is, like, Stranger Things follows the comic book. Like, the most dead person in the world is very much the most alive person in the world.
Yeah.
Because you just bring them
back. They're going to leave all the main characters alive so that they could have kids and we could do Stranger Things the next generation and it could take place in the early 2000s and we're going to get that nostalgia.
I mean, we have an Avengers coming out, and it's led by Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans.
Chris Evans. Get the gang back together. If you don't see a body, and sometimes even if you do see a body, they're coming back.
It's a body stuffing in it. It's bones that are not Hoppers,
There's
right?
A Lazarus pit. There's a multiverse. Yeah. All right. That was Stranger Things 5, Volume 2, Chapters 5, 6, and 7. We'll be back next week for the finale, and we're hoping that we're coming at it with much different energy. We're hoping we're coming at it over the moon, back with that Duffer Brothers have dropped their nuts on the table energy. Please, please God, let it happen.
Please God.